enjoyed this week's episode, and please like this video, share with your friends and dock mates, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us get more viewers like you.
There's a little sneak peek of what this is going to look like. Isn't that nice? I think it's pretty nice. But we've encountered our first, I wouldn't say major yet, but it could be major soon. Let's take a look. So you know how over the years I've told you that nothing on a boat is straight? Well, look at that. See that bubble right there? That's about as straight as one can get on a boat. But so now that we kind of know that this is straight, what else do you see? See how thick this gap is here compared to this gap over here? That's because our tabletop is bowed. See that? Our tabletop is bowed. Ay, ay, ay. Oy! Sorry about that. I am a little bit flummoxed right now. I don't know how I'm gonna fix that. Devin's like, what's happening over there? She's working on dinner. Okay. I think I have another issue as well I want to show you guys too. So I'll show you that too. Let me get that set up. I gotta test it out anyways to prove it. So let me get it set up and I'll show you. Alright. So clearly the actual tabletop has a bow in it. It's kind of bowed up like this to where like the edges slope down. So that's not great, but I think that's workable because this should be, or what we were sold is solid walnut, solid wood. So I can't really complain that there's a bow in it. I mean, it's a natural product, natural wood. So I guess that's the way it goes. But if we assume it's natural product and natural solid wood, that also means that I potentially could bend it back straight with maybe like some moisture and some heat and some clamps and, who knows? We might be able to bend it back into place. So I don't think that's that big of a deal. I think we'll be able to work with that. The bigger deal that I was worried about is I was expecting a 60-inch wide piece. So 60 inches from there all the way over to here, because our whole width here is about 62 inches depending on where you measure. So I was okay with using a 60-inch piece because we're going to have 1-inch pieces that stick off from the bulkhead and then the bracket that sticks off from that. So I was worried because this is not 60 inches, are we still going to have enough material to put that bracket underneath there and screw it into the wall? Let me show you what that looks like. So we've got this one kind of set up here. So if I tuck it up under here and kind of pretend that it's going to be right there holding up the bench top, you can actually see that there's going to be plenty of material there to screw into from our bracket to our bench top. So that's good news. That would have been a worse situation. It's really, really hard to add material. We could always take material away. We could always bend the material if we can. I mean, we could try to bend it with clamps and things like I said. But adding material because it was too short, definitely a lot harder to do. So yeah, I'm feeling a little more confident now. The other thing that we're going to need to do is, because I basically bought this off the shelf, I didn't have it customized. It's a little too wide for our space. So you can see here, like if I have it all the way bumped up against the bulkhead back here, it sticks out from this trim piece a little too far. So one of the things I'm gonna have to do, and I knew I was gonna have to do this, is rip it all the way back here with my skill saw to narrow this piece up, because I want it to probably be like centered right here on the wall. So we got to take off like 4 or 5 inches there. So that's okay. But yeah, I gotta figure out how to straighten this piece of wood. Maybe we bolt it in place and it just straightens itself out. That could be a solution too. Maybe I do take it up to a bench and a tabletop and clamp it down and you know, try to straighten it out that way. Yeah, I'm gonna think on that a little bit more, but as we do, we're gonna give you updates as we go, and I'm gonna keep going and you're gonna come along with us. So let's do it. Okay, I think I have a plan. Well, I have a plan. I don't know if that plan will work, but I have a plan. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut off 3.5 inches from the width of this. We're gonna save, of course, the live edge. This edge back here is a flat edge, and I wanted the tabletop to be set in place here and scooted above. Wow, you can just see, look at how wavy this is. It's too bad. And I can see, I wanted to scoot it up against here and bump it all the way up against this bulkhead, because I wasn't sure if the bulkhead was wavy like that, right? Like, nothing on a boat is straight. So is this bulkhead wavy? And it's not, actually. So I kind of could tell by putting my light up against the edge like that. Make sure the tabletop is pushed all the way over to the bulkhead, and besides daylight on the edge, we're not seeing any light coming through from that. Same thing over here. Got our light there. We're not seeing daylight there. Well, we're seeing daylight on the edge, but nothing up in there, right? So that tells me that's good news, that the board itself on that side is actually a true flat edge, and it follows the contour of the boat, which is a true flat edge. Unless the edge and the boat are the same exact contour, but that'd be impossible. We didn't order a custom piece. So I'm going with they're all the same straightness. So there's no wavy edge here. That's what I'm going to go with. So now what I can do is I can measure 3.5 inches in from this edge, and I can cut this all the way down in a straight line. So that way this thing will scoot over 3.5 inches. And over here too, because again, I kind of want to end like right here is kind of the plan. So 3.5 inches scooched over. So yeah, now I get to make that cut. I don't know if it's gonna be right now, but I'm gonna make a cut into this nice honking huge piece of wood. So that'll be fun. All right, let's keep going.